Hello, hello. This is the Collective Soul Tarot, and my name is Kay. Welcome, precious people, to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here with me today, and it's amazing to be here with you. So we're going to do another collective reading today of the general reading for the collective, using the Kipper and the Gilded Reverie decks again, with the Beginner's Tarot deck for clarification. And so if you like what you're seeing and hearing today, please subscribe, like, and share and comment. Let me know what you think about these decks here. That'd be great. Thank you. So without any further ado, let's set this aside here for clarification. And let's get started. Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, will you please guide and assist me today in correctly interpreting the energies in the cards and to help me see clearly? Thank you. So Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, what does the collective need to hear today that's on their hearts, that they need to find some kind of information, resolution, solution, contentment and hope. Contentment and hope from what they will get from this reading today. Today is Friday. Yay, 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 right? Friday, September 29th, 2023. Yeah, another month just flew by. We will be doing Halloween right away, and then Thanksgiving. Well, in the US, it'll be Thanksgiving. Canada, Thanksgiving's like the first weekend or the second weekend in October, and then Christmas, right? Christmas, New Year, chiming in a brand new year. All right, so we're going to do past, near past, present, and future, near future. Energies for the past: a child, or innocence, or just being naive, childlike, new, something new. Yep, okay. Just something new. Something new had happened. Something of like, maybe something that was considered a fantasy. You hear that in the background, any noises? That's my cats. Yeah, so let's see what's in the present, future, or present energies. Is a false person. Okay. False person is somebody who is not showing their true selves, being underhanded and not upfront, not transparent, just being sneaky and trying to get away with appearing to be what they are not. This could also be just trying to do something without being seen or found out, right? Okay, so the near future energy is death. Wow. That's the cross card. That literally just means death, like not it could be literally death, but it just means the end of something, right? The end of something. So there was some kind of innocence or something new transpired in the past, and then it didn't turn out to be what you thought it was going to be. It was not as it seemed, and an end has been put to that. That's been laid to rest. Cross. I'm going to read that right now because I just want to make sure that it's not just something being put to end, because these cards have a few different meanings. I am the bringer of grief. Okay, then there's grief. There's the feelings of grief, sadness, burdens, and ordeals. Pain, suffering, and guilt is the area of my expertise. I claim weeping, tears, and lamentations, and ask for prayers and supplications. When happy cards come at my right, then you shouldn't experience too much fright. This is a symbol of the state of suffering, universal and unavoidable. So it's not so much death, it's like something has ended, and therefore it's, you know, the way we're feeling about it, some kind of loss, grief, sadness. We're feeling pain as a result of losing it, whatever ended, and suffering. It is the state of carrying the burden of others who are not accountable for their actions. Yeah, the cross we bear, we have to bear. On a positive note, with this, redemption may come depending on surrounding cards. So perhaps this false person here caused someone a lot of grief. Okay? This false person caused somebody a lot of grief that they are carrying on their own shoulders. And this could be just the naivety or the immaturity of somebody. So, well, let's clarify, okay? Yeah. So something ended and has caused someone a lot of grief, sadness, pain, and suffering. Archangel Michael, can you please clarify the past energy for us, please? The child who's got a great imagination. Something new. This is a man with a rose. This is gentleman number 1 in the deck. He has love to give somebody, and he's sitting there waiting for her to arrive. And the sun. Okay, so I think there was a new beginning in a romantic relationship connection that brought this person, the significator. We're talking about the gentleman number 1. He's the significator here, so it's about him. Whoever you, that's you who I'm reading for. You had fallen in love with somebody that you found gave you, you were truly happy with, like incredible happiness. Just light and shining, beaming from your heart, from your face, just being so happy having had this experience with that person. Which I feel is this false person, which I can understand this card too. Okay, Archangel Michael, my Holy Spirit, can you please provide 2 cards of clarification, at least for the false person energy in the present day? Somebody's presenting themselves right now as somebody who they are not. Need to take a closer look. Okay, taking a risk and a gamble. That's kind of like the Fool card. And the official person is, you officially moved towards her, or you officially took a risk to excuse me, to cause her to reveal herself. Yeah, gamble and a risk. Official person. This could mean a lot. Like this card next to something can mean a lot. Just let me check, just to be sure. A lot. A lot of. I may be wrong. Let's see. Make it so. Maybe not a lot. It's just official. It means that it's official. Something could be official. But the official person, okay, this is a somewhat challenging card. We meet the official person in the marble foyer of the Officers Club. The many medals from his imperial campaign since against his bright coat. Literally, he's any person in a uniform, such as a military man, police officer, or fireman. As a description of another person card, he can stand for a gruff, forceful, or even a humorless person. The official person loves ceremony, pomp, hierarchy, regiments, and order. Give a task to this one and he will make it so. Thus, next to a non-person card, it can also mean it's happening whether you like it or not. You may be in a situation where you're not in control. Someone else is giving the orders. Yeah. Well, you took a risk. You know, you weren't taking a leap of faith. It means you're not in control. You're just taking a leap of faith. You're hoping that you'll be caught, right? In a good way. That you'll be caught if you were to fall. You'll be caught and saved when you take a risk. When this card isn't an actual military officer, he can be an official such as a policeman or judge. He might be unapproachable and intimidating if he isn't a friend or relative of the querent. But the card also sometimes acts as an exclamation point, describing a neighboring card as official. When this card appears, you may be confronted with strict rules of daily life. Maybe you'll experience situations where power and authority are required. Okay. So it could be a couple different things, so I can't really say, but I would say that this is some kind of action taken. Some kind of action taken towards the falseness, towards the wearing of a mask, okay? Whether it's him or somebody he fell in love with, okay? And I'm going to read the dice card. Why not, right? Let's make sure. I am the risk, the gamble you choose to take. Okay. He's taking a risk. I am the uncertain and the leap of faith. Well, that's definitely uncertain, isn't it? I offer the promise of future change. Possibly negative cards to my right will foretell ill fate, but positive cards will bring about a happy state. Well, that's a negative card. So it's ill fate. Are you feeling lucky? No, you're not feeling lucky. Okay, the two dice provide an element of chance and opportunity, of possibility, and a new element to be introduced into the situation. This signifies randomness and a risk that one chooses to take. The random outcome of the dice can either punish or reward, okay, and may influence the surrounding cards. Yeah, okay, so the gamble that he took on the one that he fell in love with turned out to be someone who she was not. She morphed into someone different in front of his eyes. He may not have wanted to see it in the beginning, but she morphed. She likely didn't even really morph. It was likely who she was. You know, you present, many of us, if not all of us, do it to some extent, where we put on a face that is going to be, meet with approval from the person you're trying to, catch in your web like a spider, right? We're trying to attract somebody. And so we put on our most agreeable face, happy, we're just lovely, just nice natured, right? Not too much one way or the other. So we present ourselves in a light that is not necessarily what we will be when everyday life just kicks in. Because we had put our face on like that in order to be able to be someone who would be attractive to another person. I know you know what I mean. And it's been official that the risk was great. The risk was great. And it turned out to be not so good of a risk. The risk, and I'm not sure why it was such a risk to fall in love with this. I think maybe it was because she was a much younger person than he is. Because you hear about all these stories about really attractive women who are like in their 30s. 20s and 30s marrying these rich, well-to-do, really, older men, right? You'd be thinking, why would you want? Well, most often that's assumed to be gold digger, right? A gold digger. Not necessarily the case all the time, but it does happen. And so he must have been thinking, if she's a lot younger than him, if that was the case with her. If she really wanted him for him, or did she want him for other reasons? Well, it turns out, it seems like she wanted him for other reasons. And probably had to do with money, being financially secure, set up in a beautiful life, living life the way she would want to be living life. And somehow that didn't work out. If she was being what he needed her to be with him and still living the grand life, then fine, no problems, right? But something happened. So the cross card, that's abundance and wealth. And the broom, birch card, yeah, the birch card. So, yep, it looks like the whip had been cracked against somebody, and I think it was or something. The whip had been cracked against his wealth, his finances, which, realizing that she was after his money, it seems, that caused him a lot of grief, because that's not what he expected in the beginning. So the future is that he's putting an end to that, which is, he knows he's going to feel a great deal of pain losing her, because he was dearly in love with her, quite enamored, okay, greatly in love with her. So the birch, we warned of high temper. Yeah, there'll be a lot of arguments over the money. That's what it is. Arguments over the money. I bring conflict and strife. You will find me in competition because I work with repetition. Arguments and quarrels are my pattern, but I am not always a villain. Yeah. So there's going to be high anger on both sides, her side, his side. It's a troublesome card. See, where the birch comes, frenzy will be whipped up, creating discord, and a person will be quick to anger. The card is trouble, strife, disharmony, conflict, argument, and all things stressful, particularly when seen with the birds. Well, we don't have the birds. A crack of the whip will be exerted either by you or against you. Yep. Okay, so in the most positive sense, we have here a card calling us to bring our forces and attention together to get focused and to get all our ducks in a row. Yep. Okay. So that's it. There'll be a lot of conflict over the resources, that may not just be money or assets, it could be other assets like the house, the property where they had their because, yeah, let's see, might be a great deal arguments about the house. That's on the back of the deck. So, trying to, maybe they need to sell the house. He wants to sell the house, she doesn't want to sell it. Or vice versa, and there's arguments about that. Arguments about maybe some other kind of money that's in investments or whatever. Well, who's going to get that, and how, if they have to divide it up, how are they dividing it up? I mean, a lot of arguments, drama, conflicts. It's kind of like the Five of Wands. All right, there. I think we've painted a picture. Someone youthful, immature, even he may have been, even though he may not have been in years, he was in mind. Just seen a nice, bright, shiny thing flashing before him, and he had to grab for it, he had to have it. And if he was a well-to-do man, if he is a hard worker and makes good money, he can almost have, especially if he's attracting someone like this in his life, he can have anything he wants, really. He's got a lot of control and power and status because of the money he makes. Yeah, and so he took a gamble with that one, and it did not turn out well, unfortunately for him. And now they're in dispute over, and there's a lot of pain and suffering as a result of all this, bickering. So we're talking about the child card. Sorry, got distracted. Child card, King of Cups and Eight of Cups, Temperance. Excessive shyness that does not allow you to make decisions. Fear of moving forward, stagnation, accepting your luck, expecting problems to be solved out of nowhere. Okay, yeah, so he walked away from being single, or walked away from another relationship. Maybe not a legal contract type of relationship like a marriage, but he walked away from that. And he walked also, at this point, he walked away from his own independence, in the sense that he walked into a spider's web and got all wound up in that because of what she brought to the table. This was the celebration, feeling like they were like twin flames, 1111, like they were meant to be, like destiny, right? He was in the King of Cups energy, feeling just really good. He was being compassionate and kind towards her, giving and generous, of course. But he walked away from that, and he walked away from his independence before he came here. To find peace and harmony, he had to walk away. He had to go. He had to get away from it. Two of Wands, right? To follow a different path that would guide him to healing, peace, and harmony. So let's talk about the false person. I think these cards here sum up all three of those cards, because he's the King of Cups. That's who I would see him as, is the King of Cups. And that she brought a lot of celebration, light into his life in the beginning. And it did not turn out that way. He had to walk away swiftly, get away from that, go on a different path away from her, to find that serenity and peace and calm that he so looks for in life right now. Especially if he's older than her, right? There's decades, or a decade at least, of difference. So false person, generation kind of. Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. So she was somebody who he felt that they would work together and create a beautiful harvest together, into old age and whatnot, that they would have everything they needed. They just kept their nose to the grindstone and worked hard and made the money, and so that they can invest it, make the money work for them, do whatever was necessary for them to have a very comfortable life leading right into old age and retirement, right? That's what his plan was, and maybe perhaps she told him that she was all for that. Yeah, that sounds good to me. I really would like that. I want that. Well, it then ended up because she started showing her true colors, and there was a lot of arguments going back and forth, nasty words, just ugliness in whatever they were saying to each other, or her to him, or him to her too. So there was a lot of arguments, anger. The Queen of Pentacles is the one that he was committed to, and she's obviously in the reverse. She's temperamental, negligent, mistrustful, excessively afraid of failure, spends too much time on material things, forgetful, and let's just say greedy, right? Greedy. And this is what she's been like in becoming someone he fell in love with, and then becoming the person that she really is in the marriage. Someone is cheating, enemy posing as a friend. See? Enemy posing as a friend. Hidden secrets, dangerous behavior, theft, lack of conscience, and has a strategy and is quite ingenious actually, but that's not what we want to focus on. So this is the Queen of Pentacles, who's sneaky and underhanded, greedy, turned into somebody who really is a gold digger. This is the quintessential gold digger right here. So let's talk about the dice card. Archangel Michael, my Holy Spirit, can you please clarify the dice card for us? Please clarify the dice card energy in the present, at the present time. Dice card energy. We got the Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, and the Star card with the Knight of Swords. Okay, yeah, that it was taking a risk. He moved very, very quickly. This is the fastest knight in the deck. Okay, so he moved irrationally, maybe impulsively for sure, towards her, and just grabbed her, you know, soaked her up and said, okay, you'll be mine. You know, I find you very alluring, attractive, sexy, and I just am so attracted to you. I just want to have a lot of physical, you know, interactions with you, on top of the fact that she seemed to be in a place where she had a good nose for business. She's magnetic personality. She has a lot of charisma. She appeared to be mature, but enjoyed the limelight. And she also talked about family and home, how that was important to her. She's the queen of the party kind of thing. Everybody likes her, but she's impulsive, and she's the most popular woman because that has that charisma to go about getting people to, you know, like her, But, you know, negatively, she was overbearing, jealous, dogmatic, and irrational, and quick to take offense. And she would be quick to give offense to him or anyone, particularly to him. So he had been feeling, to him, instead of being like a star, a bright light in his sky, which is what he was hoping for, you know, feeling spiritually connected to her, because, you know, the sun is also enlightenment, right? He may have felt like she was his destiny, and that they were spiritually destined to be together. But because that's not the case, he's found out she's more arrogant. She's pessimistic, she's stubborn, she's has bad judgment, and she loves to deprive people of things and to abandon them. All right, so she's anything but a bright star in the sky for him right at this particular point of time, and there's been a lot of negativity, a lot of arguments back and forth that's been brought in. A person is cheating in order to do harm, someone who upsets your plans. It's missed opportunities, and she's out of control. So that's the way she's presenting herself, which is like going to, if he knew that about her, then she wouldn't be showing up as a false person. But it's apparent he doesn't know that's what she's like, because she came across as anything but any of this. But now is showing those energies about her, those characteristics of her personality. So let's confirm and clarify the official card energy, please. Yeah, this one just said that he had karma to pay. He had karma to pay being with her from his past misjudgments and ill behaviors, you know. Not up front. Maybe he had been a player in the day, you know. He had to pay it back, but this also says that he's seen her as his destiny, which is what I said before here. So But there's karma. That's her karma. That's the divine telling us that she came in like that because he wasn't innocent himself. It was they were attracted because she brought karma into his life for something that he needed to set the record straight on with maybe other people, whoever he was with before. Because if he's an older man, you know, he's probably had a relationship or two or more or whatever with others. Maybe he just behaved sneaky and deceptive in his other relationships, and she's come into his life attracted to him because they're at the same kind of vibe, and she would provide that karma to him so that he could learn from it, right? And it's all about learning from it. All right, number 22, official. Queen of Swords, Six of Cups, and Justice with the Ten of Pentacles. So there's the Ten of Swords right there with the Ten of Pentacles, which will be reversed. This is a long-term commitment, you know, with great happiness and prosperity and abundance, unexpected financial windfall, so lump sums of money and generational wealth. But in the reverse, he is officially cutting her out of his life. They've known each other for a good long time. Six of Cups. They've known each other for a good long time. Yeah, but she turned into a Queen of Swords who is just, you know, let's just see here, maliciously playful, dangerous enemy, jealous and intolerant, and a few other adjectives as well. She will not take a moment to cut you down to size in front of anyone, but they've known each other for a long time. So it's kind of like, with that length of time of knowing each other, this destined path is like for sure flashing in their eyes, saying you're meant to be together. And yes, they were. I mean, so to speak, you were meant to be together. If he had paid off his karmic debt before she showed up in his life, in whatever way that was, the two of them would not have been matched, and they would not have had that attraction. She might have been attracted to him, but he wouldn't have been attracted to her. So it just goes to say, like, this tells these people, the people we're with, tell on us. Not quite literally, but sometimes they do, right? But that whole relationship dynamic there, that's telling on him that he had been like that, and he hadn't paid his karma off yet. So he's still in that energy. So of course he's going to attract the same kind of energy to him. And but something's been going on in the years that they've been, and he's been growing and she has not been growing, and now he's seeing there's just such a gulf, you know, just such a distance between them in what their aspirations are and desires are, the people they want to be with, you know, make friends with, and the kind of activities they want to engage in. The two of them are not on the same page anymore. So he's seen that, and then he must have been asking questions like, why? Why do I feel like this? Why can't I be like I was when I first met her? What's going on? Well, he's been putting up with a lot of caca, which is what us Canadians refer to as, you know, BS. He's been putting up with a lot of caca from her. And so he has been paying his karmic debt off slowly from the past before she came along. Whatever he needed to pay karmic debt on, he's been doing it slowly. So he's now at the point where he's got the scale has tipped, you see, to the point where the wheel of fortune is now spinning in his favor. And of course she's going to start shining like a neon light, like, I'm false, I'm bad, I don't really love you, I want your money, you know, I need the security. That's what's going to be flashing in front of him in his mind. So he's making some changes because he's had time to think about it and to have the experiences of what did I really marry? Where did you go? What happened to you? You're not the same person. And so she ended up betraying him, which would have been the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. Maybe she had already betrayed him once or twice before, but if not, she did, and he said, no, I'm not going to be with somebody. I'm worth much more than that. I'm not going to be with somebody who does that to me, even though he may have done it to his previous relationships. But again, she's mirroring to him what kind of lover or spouse or committed partner he was to his love attraction, right? Before she came along. And so he's getting divorced from her, and she's turning into a ruthless, yep. And yeah, that's them from knowing each other. Here's the justice, balancing the scales, right? Balancing the karmic justice, for one thing. This is karmic justice. This is, you have to pay your karma off before you can even think about having a better life with somebody who really deserves your goodness. If you've got it, you got goodness in you, but you have to be able to be willing to live by it, embrace it, and love yourself for it, so that you become that different energy. The energy of yourself changes because your heart is softening and it's filling up with compassion, unconditional love, for yourself, and knowing who you are, right? That you're worthy of being loved and not being cheated on in a committed relationship. So he must have grown enough so that when he looked at her one day, that's all he saw. He said, she's a false person. I don't know who she is. So then the cross comes along. Okay, Archangel Michael, my Holy Spirit, the cross in the near future. This would be putting an end to it, right? So, divorce, correct? With the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. When it's in reverse, it means assets need to be divided up. The long-term commitment's coming to an end, or has ended, and so forth and so on. So let's have a look at the cross. The Emperor, that's somebody who has evolved, is growing into their own energy, to who they really are inside, carrying great burdens of the past, feeling confused and saying no to confusion. Oh, there's that card I was wondering about. There it is. Yep, King of Swords. So he's matching her now, but he's doing it in the more not compassionate but rational way, because there's no feelings with the King of Swords or Queen of Swords, but they do. The Queen of Swords is fair. The King of Swords, yes, too, but it's more about just making sure he's understood, that there is no misinterpretation of what he's saying and what his intentions and desires are. So he's getting divorced. He has put that in. He's put that in the process, where he is hired a divorce lawyer to go to court for him on his behalf. But it's been breaking his heart. It really has. The cross is a lot of grief, sadness, and sorrow, really, that something had come to an end that was so bright in the beginning. But he's grown. That's what this is. All of this just ugliness and turmoil, people, it causes you to grow. If you're wise, you will grow from this and not allow those kind of impulsive decisions and behaviors to get you into trouble again with somebody else is going to do that to you or something similar. So you learn your lessons, and you won't ever fall prey to people who want to take from you in one way or another. You won't, because if you grow from it, spiritually and personally develop from it, then you are an emperor. You're the highest and most revered masculine energy in the deck, where you're all four of the kings in these four suits here. King is the highest in the suit, right? He is all those beautiful characteristics and qualities of each of those kings is what you've got as an emperor. So there's just that, there's nothing ugly anymore. If he has to enact and enforce something, it's done with without a lot of he's not going to be doing it from being spiteful or arrogant or anything like that. It's because it had to be done. It just had to be done for the better of everyone, for the whole empire. Somebody needed to lose their head, so to speak. It's just business. Don't take it personally, right? But back in the day, you lost your head, and but it had to be done because it was good for the entire empire, and setting at the tone, right? That would keep people on the up and up if they were to see that that's what's going to happen to them if they don't follow the rules. So, but it's done for protection and just quality of governing himself and others. That's what's so attractive and enticing to others. When they look up at him, they see respect. Like they give him respect. So yeah, he's having a divorce. Because he wants to let go of all these mental exhaustion and responsibilities that this life has brought on his shoulders. It's laid there on his shoulders, and he's just feeling like overworked, underpaid kind of thing, confused about everything that's happened. It's like a whirl, like a frenzy, right? This birch cart kicks up a frenzy when things change, when manifestation is turning in a way that's causing them to unmanifest what they manifested here and to remanifest something different. So there's manifestation of a better way, a better life that's going on right now, whether you know it or not. Okay, so that's beautiful, guys. I want to put the Emperor on top here, but the Emperor put an end to it, even though he has to feel it, and he will, because he's a King of Cups as well, right? As well as a King of Pentacles and King of Swords and King of Wands. So he's feeling it. She's probably feeling it too, but he's feeling the burden of the agony and the pain that all of this suffering is causing him. He's got to say goodbye to the one that lit up his world before. This is very sad. But it is, it had to be, Emperor. Otherwise you wouldn't be an emperor right now. You'd be getting sucked dry here from this one. Like, I guess the spider, when they go to their catch in the web, they suck the life out of their catch, right? All right, so 34, please. Archangel Michael, my Holy Spirit. The world. Putting a cycle, end of a cycle, blocking, and leaving her out in the cold with the Four of Swords. Okay. I left a card over there. I guess it wants to be seen, so we're gonna bring it out. It wants to be seen. I left it over there. Okay, so the cycle has come to an end. He's put an end to this cycle of all this past stuff. He's blocking her because she's unbearable as the Queen of Swords. She just wants to be chewing at him all the time. So he had to block her in every way, shape, and form. Internet and physically, emotionally too. He had to push his feelings down. And he's turning off his sight because he doesn't want to know what she's about to do or can do that could cause him a lot more turmoil and grief. And where are we here? He's kicked her out into the cold, so there's separation and division between two. Where he's going into hermit mode. Right? He's trying to repair the damage in his broken heart and his mind, his rumination. He's exhausted with everything that, probably starting from here, but more so elevated as the time went on, because he was going to move, he was going to separate from her. So having to have that talk with her, that I don't want to be married to you anymore, then she would go, what? You know, so she'd become very defensive and possibly belligerent. So he is going to need to heal. He's got some healing to do. I just want to clarify the last card here, 11, the birch card, please. Yeah, he's going to spend time in introspection with the divine, you know, praying to him, asking the divine for some answers, some clarity, and for guidance. How to do this, how to get through this. How can I let go of my pain, the pain I'm feeling in my heart? How do I let this go? I feel I've hurt so much, you know, I hurt so much. I don't want to feel like this. Please help, you know, that kind of thing. So the birch card, the Empress, well, it was on the back of the deck. I didn't bring it out. The High Priestess and the Ace of Swords with Death. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so the Empress here would be who, you know, the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, but she's obviously his wife as well, which is what the Empress at the lower resonancy in the tarot card deck, could just be the wife here, without any kind of evolution to her. Wife and maybe perhaps mother. But he is, it could also mean that he is also putting a death, he's transforming. He's ended this, right? He's ended this. He's transforming. You know, you just don't end something. You also have a complete transformation as a result, and it's always in a good way, according to the tarot. So, excuse me, he's willing to break with the past. And this is a death that causes a rebirth or transformation, death and transformation. So what he wants to rebirth is, not only has she been a wife and or mother, this card also signifies someone who he is perfectly yoked with as the higher vibrant. I bring it up here because the higher frequency of the Empress, of what the Empress in the tarot deck really signifies, is the most revered and respected feminine energy in the deck. She's all four queens, so that means she's all four qualities and positive qualities, characteristics. On top of that, she's a master manifester. That's what makes her different from the rest. She's highly evolved, master manifester. She is able to create, she gives birth to new worlds, and she creates as she desires, because every desire she has is divinely backed. It's divinely backed. She doesn't even think about having something that's not going to be good for just her. I mean, it's not going to be good for everybody. It has to be good for everyone, you know, with her and whoever else she has in her life, but the entire planet, right? The entire universe. It's got to be good for all. And when you go in with that mindset, what you get as a result would not be anything you could imagine, but way big, 10 times, 50,000 times better. You know, you go in with that mindset that you're going to do things in a way that God is obviously in it with you. It's going to come out to be spectacular. There is really no word in the human language that would express what it is that you're going to experience as a result of having, you know, you're operating from an operating system of that mindset. That's amazing. That even doesn't describe it. But, you know, you're intuitive. He sees her as being intuitively connected, highly spiritual, and somebody who leads with the sword held high of truth and clarity, success, transparency and honesty. This is victory. This is new plans. This is new ideas. This is clarity of mind. This is laying the cards on the table, realizing the truth. You have a vision. You're focused on being, balanced in both being logical and emotional. balance. Never ever one way too much or one way the other too much. Always nicely towards the middle. All the time, whenever you're dealing or feeling or thinking about something. And so this is a rebirth. This is the divine is saying to my beautiful King of Cups over here, who is evolved to the Emperor, look what you've got. That sweeping that away, making haste and sweeping all this low vibe stuff away. You've been elevated. You've elevated yourself, your mind and your body and your heart. You're in a perfect energy to attract a person that matches you again, but at the high vibe, not this low vibe over here. No low vibe stuff, high vibe stuff. You got an Empress coming towards you, or you know of someone, or that's what you're going to be able to attract, is an Empress person. And you see them as being highly spiritual, or they are just spiritual. The divine is telling you right here, right now. And they're all about the truth. The divine and nothing but the divine. So help me God, right? And this is going to be your rebirth, your coming out, so to speak, coming back into the world as a renewed man. I sure hope this was helpful to you. It's a long reading. I was going to do some cards. You know what? I'm going to anyways. You can shut it off if you want, if you're already had enough. But I'm going to do some messages here that are enlightening messages, insight, and divine encouragement, advice. Okay, what does our Emperor in this reading, who began as the King of Cups with the false person in the beginning, who didn't seem to be so false at the time, what is our Emperor needing to know? What can you tell them? It's a disturbing reading, but it's going to come out really lovely. Blind spot. Caught up in the whirlwind. Yeah, that impulsivity of the quickness of the Knight of Cups or Knight of Wands. Fast energy. Caught up in the whirlwind. You can't see what's really going on. Ask a trusted friend for advice. Same thing, the advice would be, if you find yourself being attracted to somebody, talk to a trusted friend to see if they know somebody who knows her or what they think about her. Get them to meet each other, kind of thing. And broken. They didn't keep the promises they made. They may break your heart, but not your spirit. Okay? And it didn't, because you took all of this and you decided, okay, I'm rising above this, because this is just too much grief and pain for me. I can't do this anymore. Maybe you've had a couple of failed marriages, and you just finally said, I got to do this differently. If you keep thinking the same way and hoping for a different outcome, but still behaving the same kind of, excuse me, at the energy level, it's insanity to think that you'll get a different outcome. You have to change to get the different outcome. Hard. Things are just difficult now. You need space to sort out your feelings, to know what to do. Okay. Yeah, I would say you're feeling a lot of pain here from, having experiences with this one throughout your time together, but also having to to go through the whole, I don't want to be married to you anymore event, because she's going to get upset, right? And probably have a few choice words for you. And then actually going through it in court, having to face each other in court, hearing the evidence and so forth and so on. So yeah, that it's difficult, definitely it is, but your spirit's not been broken, and that's the good news about this. You actually grew up. You grew up to be a very responsible, very mature adult that leads life in positive ways. That's not just about the self, but about for other people too, and basically for the world, the universe. So beautiful people, precious people, thank you for joining with me today. I hope this was good for you. Please subscribe and like. Don't forget, okay? Love you all and have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye.